What's up, everybody? Tony Cutillo, Jigsaw at Heat Ratio Sports, at Fox Sports Again, or PhillyInfluence.com. You're singing us all over right now. Listen, I usually wait, and I haven't done these, for a long time. I'm usually doing post games, and I'm usually doing, watch a press. I don't know how to wait in order to do this. I don't. I'm not understanding what we just witnessed. I really not. I mean, my tweet did not age well. I was actually really looking forward to watching this game. I really was, and I was enjoying watching this game. I was second half. I completely put it out there. I was like, listen, I really enjoy, watching this game. I don't know what happened. I need some help here. I need some guidance. I am lost. I am lost along with everybody else. No matter what, this was a game that we all knew, right? We knew what was at stake for other teams, and we knew, but did we really have to get a look at Nick Sudfeld? Nick, I'm so, I don't want to just go crazy right now, because that's what I kind of feel like doing. I feel like going absolutely nuts right now, and I feel like just blowing my TV up when I see that happen, because this just is unexplainable. It is. I'm sorry. No matter what you feel right now, it's just ridiculous. And I don't take it as a joke. I take it as very prideful. You can say what you want, but, guys like Jason Kelce, who will sit there and play the J.J. Watt card and completely said that, listen, at the end of the day, we play to win a game, right? We play to win a game. And that was a joke. That was a complete joke. Molly, honestly, Nate, what did we have to see, Doug? What did we have to say? That was a complete joke. And you know what? That encapsulates our entire season, okay? That's what it does. It encapsulates our entire season, okay? Because that's exactly the way we felt the entire year. Okay, the entire year. Molly says, I felt some sort of way seeing Carson not dressed, and it was due to injury. Exactly. It's like everything right now, Molly, is just a complete joke. It's a complete joke. It is. What's going on with this organization? I was going to wait till I can't. I am so fired up right now because I was like, okay, listen, I'm on board. Everybody knows I like Jalen Hurts. I like what he offers. I do. I want to see what he can do. And then this happens, this is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. E-Bomb, what's up, buddy? Sending the clown. Exactly. I don't know. I don't know how else to say that I am completely disgusted. Okay, completely disgusted. We can say whatever we want. Okay, Jamar, what's up, buddy? What the heck? Carson Lobby for that. I mean, listen, how again? Like, what was that? Quitting second. Exactly. Like, again, right now, how do you feel if you're a veteran on this team? How do you feel? I mean, this game, like, the whole point of this game, I don't even know what this, like, if you're Jason Kelce, how do you feel? You have a guy, an all-pro center, Hall of Fame center, okay, and Jason Kelce that was on the brink of retirement. He was on the brink of retirement before this year, right? Absolutely. And what did he do? Okay, what did he do? He came back. He played on one arm. So now you have your all-pro, future Hall of Fame center sitting there watching you tank a game, right? Watching you basically tank a game because you want to see what you have in Nate. Nate Sudfeld sucks. He stinks. We know what he is. We already know he's a third-string quarterback that'd be lucky to get a second-place role. He like step in elephant shit in order to get it. I am so irate right now. So irate. Alicia, what's up, Alicia? Long time no see. Molly, I just feel there's so many problem areas from top to bottom. It's going to be so difficult for us to make even playoff contenders next year, year after. Exactly. Like honestly, you know how long this is going to be? This is going to be a long journey, people. A long journey. This is going to be one of the most historic and horrific off seasons of all time. We have to live with this now. Not only do we have to live with what's going to go on with Jalen or Carson, now we have to live with this abomination of a football game. I mean, we were an embarrassment. No matter what you think, we were an embarrassment on the national freaking stage. It gets no worse than this right now. We are a laughingstock. And here's the other thing. Here's the other thing that people don't realize. Okay, you have all these ex-players. Okay, you have all these players, that are tweeting out, whether they're Giants players or not. It's not just the Giants; it's other NFL players. If you're an NFL player, do you want to come here and play? Do you want to come here and play? Think about that. Like right now, this is what you're seeing. You're seeing right now. Do you really want to come here and play? I mean, you see how horrible this organization is being run right now. It's an absolute joke. George, what's up, George? I'm sure Carson would tell Jalen, watch your back playing here. I'll tell you what, man. Everybody needs to watch their back in this town. Well, this team. William, what's up, Bill? Lori and organizations don't appreciate the fans and passion they have. We're embarrassed to see the fan base. That was the most horrific display of a sports team. I completely 100% agree, Bill. 100% agree. Candace, what is up, Doug? Embarrass us. Absolutely. I told you. Listen, again, I keep telling you, everybody, I can't stand Doug Peterson. I don't care what everybody says. You want a Super Bowl? How do you get rid of the guy? This is what you get. This is what you get from Doug. You remember I tweeted it out. What did Jeffrey Lurie say? Emotional intelligence. This is what you get from Doug. Emotional intelligence. That's why we wanted Doug. Emotional intelligence. Did Doug look like he knew what was going on? And not to mention that you put your guy, Nate Sudfeld, in, and you forget to put a wide receiver on the friggin' field, and you got to call a timeout. Think about that. That's how dysfunctional this team is right now. It's a joke. And for you to come out and say that undoubtedly that Doug will be back, that's another complete joke to me. You're not even going. Listen, that just, you know what that shows? You are completely disconnected. You're completely disconnected. Okay? That's what Jeffrey Lurie is. Completely disconnected. Can we get a young college coach? Yes. Can we get somebody? Give me a young. Listen, Jim Schwartz, I don't hate the guy, but he's gone. Okay? Good. Enjoy your retirement, Jim. It is what it is. But can we not get a retread here? Can we actually get some young blood? Bring somebody new into this organization. I am so tired of these stiffs that we have. Marty Morningweg. Are you kidding me? Marty Morningweg. Please, I ask this again. Will somebody please tell me what Marty Morningweg has done to deserve a job for this long on an actual NFL staff? Somebody please tell me. Okay, I know there's a lot of hacks going on. Maybe he's got, I've said this before, but maybe he's got an OnlyFans account, a secret account. Maybe he's got pictures of somebody. I don't know. Maybe he's eating Johnny cakes, being the extra in The Sopranos. I don't know what he's doing, but he doesn't deserve to be here. Okay, he does not deserve to be here. I am so infuriated right now. I am. Because, again, I watched this game because, again, E-Bomb checking in. Thank God the Sixers are playing competent basketball. Exactly. 100%. Thank God we have something. Candace second massive culture problem. Oh, Candace, spot on as always. You know me and you see eye to eye on everything 98% of the time, right? At 2% maybe on music and Alicia Keys. We'll talk about that later. But now, in all seriousness, 100% major problem. When we lost Frank, listen, Quinny, I'm not going to get into the Frank Reich thing. It is what it is. If Doug is that good of a coach, okay, he should be able to get past that, right? I understand that Frank Reich was here, but I still think that there was something, right? Something that that Doug should be able to do, but this is a complete joke. It is. I hope Carson goes to Indy, he goes to the Hall of Fame with Frank. You know what, Bill? I agree. And you know what? Honestly, for everybody that says I always hate on, I don't hate on Carson. I think Carson is going to do well. Okay, I do, and I think all those reports that came out are true. Why do we have to speculate? You see this tonight. Have you not seen this? Okay, look at that. Carson Wentz is probably like, thank God, get me the frig out of here. That's exactly what's happening right now. Okay, that's exactly what he's saying to himself. Why do I want to be in this situation? There's other players on that team that are going to be asking the same damn thing. And there's going to be free agents, potential free agents, asking the same thing, asking themselves, do I want to go to that situation? Do I want to play in that kind of culture? Do I want, like, this is a joke. It's an absolute joke, man. I don't know what else to say. Al, my man with the late nights. Al, I couldn't wait, Al. I could not wait to the live show on Tuesday. I couldn't wait. I finally said, you know what? We're gonna hit it hard tonight because I'm fired up, and I know a lot of other people fired up too. So I just vent, man. Tell me what you feel. Tell me how you feel. Like what could possibly? I don't even want to watch the press conference. I don't even want to watch it. I don't want to hear Doug. Like I said, I don't want to hear him. He fumbling through the questions or no comment or what we want to see in Nate. What we want to see in Nate. Come on, Doug. What we wanted to see in it's a complete joke. Complete joke. E-Bomb, the old regime is old. Exactly. You know what? That's a great point. That's a Chris Exusion. Great point. The old regime is old. Start looking at the flyers of old clinching on to old members of the team. Completely agree. 100%. We're going back to the Paul Holmgren era, right? You know, this is exactly what you were talking about. 100%. It's the same thing right now. We're latching on. We are latching on, and we got to let go, man. We got to let go. Ron, checking in. What's up, Ron? Peterson screwed the Giants. Revenge will come in some form at some point next season. Very low life what he did. I lost a lot of respect for the man tonight. Everybody across the entire league played to win today, but it kind of sums up how dysfunctional this organization has become. Hopefully, we have a productive offseason. Ron, I couldn't agree more. I'll tell you what, and that is the problem. That is the issue. What you just said, how you lost respect for the man tonight. If you lost respect and I lost respect, players lost respect. And that is the biggest part of this. And this is what people need to understand. This league, okay, these players have a union. They have a bond. They stick together, okay? And you can't tell me right now, okay, you heard 2 weeks ago when J.J. Watt, okay, came out for the Houston Texans and took offense to players on that team, not giving them their all. Okay, basically selling out and saying, this season's over, I'm not playing anymore. You heard Jason Kelsey on our team, basically, insinuate the same exact monotone. And again, you do this. You do this. Well, and again, what message does this even send to your young quarterback? Did you have a handshake agreement with Jalen Hurts to say, hey, Jalen, listen, no matter what, we're going to take you out in the third quarter? Is that what you said to him? Because, I don't know, he didn't really look pissed. Right? Maybe he did. I don't know. But all I know is this makes zero sense, man. Al, 100% agree. We look like complete morons on national TV. If he would have said what he was going to do before the game, you know what, Al? Again, a perfect point. Perfect point. If he would have said before the game, if he would have came out and said, this is my game plan, okay, I know we got nothing to play for, so what we're going to do is we're not going to play Jalen the whole game. We're going to split it in half, treat it like a preseason game. That's fine. Okay, that's fine. But he didn't do that, Al. You're right. 100% spot on. He didn't do that. What he did was he made an idiotic decision, okay, a disrespectful decision, and now he looks even worse for it. 100%. Quinny says, sends a bad message to exactly. Sends a bad message to Hurts. No other coach in the NFL would have done that. I completely agree. I completely agree. Kelsey looked like he wanted to rip somebody's face off, Al says. Listen, Al, I agree. Did you see Kelsey? And that was a great. Listen, I know everybody hates on Chris Collinsworth. I know everybody hates him, right? They hate on him. But I'll tell you what. He was spot on tonight when this was happening, okay? He was spot on when he went and said, I'd love to look at the message, the face of what the offensive lineman's faces say, the message that they, I loved it because went over there, you looked at Jason Kelsey, and did you see him? Oh, man, he was embarrassed. Embarrassed. That Sudfeld move means Doug Peterson is going nowhere. Again, I'll tell you what. All these people that are talking about it's how we make decisions, listen, that's not listen, we could talk about Howie another day. That's a complete Doug decision. Okay, some guy called in the radio when I was going to pick up my Steve steaks tonight because I finally went to Steve's. I haven't been there since March. It's a pandemic, and damn, it was good. Okay, and when I was on the way to Steve's, I threw on the radio for a little bit. I wanted to see what they were going to say. And what did they say? They were talking about this exact moment. Again, they were talking about what Doug Peterson symbolizes, and that we have to give him a chance. Guess what? No, we don't. This is somebody called him a buffoon. I'll tell you what, tonight he was a buffoon. He was. I say what you want. That was an idiotic move. Andy says I'd rather have Chip right now. I'll tell you what. Chip's not starting to look that bad, too. Either. I'll tell you that. Chip is not starting to look that bad. Man, I tell you, I'm sweating right now. This dude is killing me. No coach in the hot seat makes that move. That's a great point. He knows he's going to be back, right? Well, he knows he's going to be back. Like you said, E-Bomb's on point tonight. No coach on the hot seat makes that move. Absolutely not. And one thing I don't want to get lost here, okay, is I have tremendous respect for Ron Rivera and Jack Del Rio, okay? And if people who follow me, again, give us a follow at Heat Ratio Sports, doing big things, big announcements this week, okay? Follow me at Cutillo23 on Twitter. Again, one thing I want to say is, that team, needs to be respected. And that team is going to be a problem for many years to come. The defensive front that they have built through actual drafting the right way, okay, for drafting the right way and to be able to utilize the talent the right way is tremendous. And I picked Washington to win the NFC East, okay? And I'm not afraid. Go back and look at it. I obviously didn't pick them at 6-10, but I did say that I was scared of them because of the coaching they had and the talent. And hats off to them. And I don't listen. One thing I'm going to say, Andy says, what a waste of a season. I agree completely. Rich, what's up, Rich? Long time no see, buddy. Is in practice for evaluation. Practice, like AI said. Game time is to win for the fans. The fans were let down. 100% agree. Skipper checking in. Why did he not kick the field goal down 3? Kind of stupid. Here's the thing I will say about that. I'm not going to be all over that and say, you know what? He's an idiot for not. Here's the thing. When you have nothing to play for, okay, then I do think, you know what? You do go for it. What do you have to lose? And you know what? Listen, Quez Watkins was open. Okay, for all the people out there that want to say Jalen Hurts made a terrible throw, okay, and he didn't have all day, okay, what happened was Bostic was in his face, okay, and then Jalen got a little jumpy, okay, maybe he didn't want to take the hit. I'm not sure. That's the only reason why that throw was bad. But the play would have worked. It would have worked. So I'm not going to hate Doug for that. I'm not, honestly. Alicia says, let's not forget, Doug won a Super Bowl on a play that he didn't even call. Alicia, let me tell you something. You're so right, because I say this. I remember, okay, and this goes back to 2018. I remember even in that year, because obviously even as a 17 season, they won the Super Bowl in 18, because it is in February. But I remember that off season. I said, go back and look at the film, because again, I'm not a Doug guy. Never was a Doug guy, even when he won the Super Bowl. I apologize to Doug, okay, out in the open, not to him personally, but to the Twitterverse or whatever, and said, listen, you won a Super Bowl. Hats off. I'll tip it off. Maybe I was wrong. I still think I'm not 100% sold. And one thing I did say, Alicia, was I watched him over and over again. I watched Nick Foles come over and basically say, you want to run Philly, right? And then you actually looked like Doug didn't want to run it. It looked like, if you go back and look at that, Doug looked like he wanted to pull him back and not run it. And he was like, okay, too late. We're going to run it. So Doug wasn't even sure of that. And that's your head coach. That's your head coach. Okay? And that's a problem. That is a problem. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. We had Steve's too. Alicia, it's a Philly thing, right? It's a Northeast Philly thing, 100%. I had to drive down there. I know I'm in the burbs now, but I got to go back to the grassroots every now and then and grab the good food, because, listen, there ain't no Steve's up in the burbs. I'll tell you that. We do have a Popeyes now, though, so at least we got something going on. Al says he should have been fired just for this game alone. Listen, I agree. I have no idea how they say there's a meeting on Tuesday. Like, what do you tell Jeffrey Lurie? And I'll tell you what, if you're telling Jeffrey Lurie that this was your plan all along, listen, I'm going to send Jeffrey Lurie right to Chris Exusion, right to E-Bomb to say exactly what he said. Then I want Jeffrey to ask Doug, well, why didn't you come out and say that in the beginning and announce what your plan was all along? And don't tell me that you didn't want to give up your game plan, because now all of a sudden you're going to say that you were trying to win. Doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. It's like being a head coach on Zoom. Exactly. 100%, man. 100%. Andy, love it. Quinny says Washington all but tried to give the game away. Not what? Exactly. 100%. I mean, listen, all you had to do, I don't even know who it was because there were so many nobodies in that game, but you just had to fall on the ball. That fumble, they fumbled it. At the end, that's all you had to do was fall on the ball. And, you hear the words all the time. Never try to pick up a run. Just fall on the ball. And, again, another textbook move not being taken in consideration for this team. Unbelievable. Andy says, yep, wasn't confident Philly. 100%. No, he wasn't. If I go back, I'll tell you right now, he wasn't going to run that play. Al says, Doug just said he was trying to win, just wanted to get Nate some snaps. What a joke. Are you kidding me? Al, that's why I couldn't watch it. I actually thought about sharing the screen on here and we could go through it live, but I probably would have just pounded my head in my desk right in front of me and shut the microphone off because I just would have went nuts. As I don't even want to hear it. The John said, what's up, John? Checking on YouTube. Doug made his own team look weak. John, I completely agree. And again, John, if you're checking on the YouTube, is our first time you're finding us on here, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. We greatly appreciate it. We got more and more content coming up. I promise you that. And you're right. He made his own team look weak. He made his own. Listen, he disrespected his own team. That's what he did. He disrespected his players. He disrespected his veterans. Okay, that's 100%. What about guys like Zach Ertz, who essentially is probably the last time you're going to see him in a Philadelphia Eagles uniform? And again, I was a big proponent 2 years ago of saying you have to trade Zach Ertz now. His value has never been greater. And you're not going to want to sign a 31-year-old tight end to a monster money contract. So get what you can now. You drafted Dallas Goedert, make him the heir apparent, and get some draft capital for him. And you didn't do it. So you lost on that. Again, terrible organizational move. But he's still here, okay? It's his last game of his career, and you throw him out there like that? I mean, listen, I'll do me a favor, okay? For everybody listening, go back and rewatch that game if you have an NFL account. Go on there, watch the 59-second game if you can. The 59-minute game where you can basically watch it with no commercials and speed through it. And I want you to watch the 2 touchdowns that Jalen Hurts scored and watch the very lackadaisical the low 5 that Zach Ertz was giving Jalen Hurts. Zach Ertz knew he's not okay with this entire situation. That is Carson's boy, right? We all know that. That's Carson's boy. Okay, so he was already pissed off with coming into this game, and then he had to watch that deplorable act of idiocy by his head coach. Okay, I don't know how we go forward being excited, and that's the worst thing about this. Andy said the vets that played today want to win for the city. Exactly, but they were clipped by their wings because Doug wanted to get his third-string quarterback some plays. FML. Listen, we all know what FML means. I try to keep it clean, so I don't want to say it. But Andy, you're 100% correct, man. Honestly, I mean, think about that statement. Okay, the vets today wanted to win for the fans, for the city, but were clipped by their wings because Doug wanted to get his third-string quarterback some reps. His third-string quarterback. Are you kidding me? And don't you owe it? Listen, I understand as much hatred as I have for the Dallas Cowboys, okay? Because I've grown up in Philadelphia. I am a Philadelphia fan. You see the stuff behind me. I still have respect for the game and would hate it because I tell you what, this is bad karma, man. This is bad juju. This comes back. People do not forget this. You can sugarcoat it any way you want. At the end of the day, it doesn't make it better. Al says, Zach Ertz on the bench by himself at the end of the game. He knows this was his last game as the Eagle. And again, Al, going out, you believe that Zach Ertz goes out like that? He goes out like that. He's throwing blocks for Nate Sudfeld. Are you kidding me? He's throwing blocks for Nate Sudfeld. I mean, it's a joke. It's an absolute joke. This entire offseason just changed for me. Okay, again, I'm telling you, it changed in a matter of one quarter. I was so excited. I like the Jalen Hurts experiment. I don't know what this offseason is going to bring. I like that he was mobile. I like that he was more athletic. I like that he was making plays. He's got a ton to work on. 100% agree. I get it. But again, if this relationship is fractured, and I believe that it is, we can say whatever we want, but if this relationship is fractured, because listen, Carson, at the end of the day, I agree that Carson should have been benched. Carson Wentz was not helping the team. But I also understand that Carson Wentz was just paid that big-time contract. So in his mind, he wants to start. I cannot deny him that. He wants to start, and I'm glad that he wants to start because I would question his fortitude as a competitor if he didn't want to start and want to allow himself to be a backup. That's not what he is. But on this team, all along, if this relationship is fractured because of the way he thinks that he needs to go elsewhere, and he will be successful. I really do. I think he would be successful. I do. But it just shows that how this situation was just stumbled on. Because you know why? Again, and I am on record as saying this, and I will say it again. That move to bench Carson Wentz should have been made in week 6, week 7, or week 8. And the reason why is because you give him a mental break. I was also on record saying that Carson should have been given the opportunity to start once again because we wanted to see if the game off or the benching had any effect on his mental psyche. And that was one of the biggest things I thought was the problem. And he never got the opportunity. You know why? You waited too late. You wait and you fumbled this entire situation and turned fans against other fans. You turned players against other players. You turned this entire city upside down. And for that, in my opinion, as a Philadelphia Eagles fan, not as a media guy, not as a sports talk guy, okay, I am embarrassed and I feel cheated and disrespected for that. And I take that, I'm appalled. Because you know what? We are supposed to be together. The Eagles fan base is the strongest fan base in America. Say what you want, and one of the most educational fan bases there is, and we will go up against anybody. Okay? I tell you that right now. I don't care about Skull. I don't care about, who that nation, whatever. At the end of the day, this is a very, very solid, a very deep fan base, and you ruined it. The Eagles team ruined it this year, and this game is just going to continue to make it just stink even more slowly throughout this all season. Oh my God. I don't get it. I don't get it. Andy says the players are not to blame. The coaches are. How does Nelson leave and have the best season of his career and the coaching to be? Listen, I mean, Andy, you're right. I mean, think about it. We've talked about this all year. You think about all the decisions. You look at guys, Nelson Aguilar. Look at Matt Collins. Okay, honestly, look at Sidney Jones. Look at Rasul Douglas. I mean, these guys are making plays. Jalen Watkins is still in the league getting play. Ronald Darby had a great year for Washington. Okay, but he stunk here. I listen, every player that leaves here has a better year. Every player. And so what is that? We have to continue to ask ourselves what that is. And I don't know what that is. And all I know is you're 100% it is coaching. It's 100% coaching. Doug is so slow that this is Al. Doug is so slow that he didn't get why people are upset and why people think he didn't try to win. Shake my head, not the smartest guy. Exactly, Al. This, honestly, I hate to say it. The guy, he is. I heard the word buffoon today. I thought it was hilarious because I'm thinking Doug is a buffoon. Because for new people that are following us right now, and for the people that have followed me before, and the people that know me, know that I've said all the time that we've watched this is typical Doug, right? Because we watch people do taste contests, okay? You've watched the commercials. Remember back in the day, you had the commercials, the blindfold, and it was like Pepsi or Coke. Can you decide a difference? I'll tell you what, like, again, I say this all the time, but if everybody was blindfolded, okay, say we took 10 people in a room and we blindfolded them and you had 3 guys talking and you had to pick out what guy do you think is a head football coach, I guarantee that Doug Peterson would come in third. You would say, this guy bags groceries at Gennardi's. That's what you say. He's the next Kurt Warner story. Maybe a quarterback to come and try to win a Super Bowl. He's not a freaking head coach. That's what you would say. You would not think this guy's a head coach. Listen to his press conferences. Listen to his answers. Just like Al said, he is so slow. And if he doesn't have the help, that's a problem, which brings up the Frank Reich and the DiFilippo factor. And again, were they the main reasons? No. But again, they were at least guys that were in Doug's ear. Did anybody watch the Indianapolis game today? Did anybody see Jonathan Taylor run for 230-plus yards? Did anybody see that? Okay, do you remember those game plans when you would have guys like LeGarrette Blount and Corey Clement and these guys running all over? Okay, whatever happened to that? That was Frank Reich. Okay, that was 100% Frank Reich. What's up, Rich? Jeff Spicoli. I've been thinking these names, man. I mean, it's ridiculous. Like Andrew Biner or Weiner or whatever the hell this guy's name is. Okay, the last guy to name like that was Bolin when he was supposed to be playing for the Philadelphia 76ers when we traded for him. Okay, it's a complete joke. Okay, why do we have so many voices? Hey, Doug, why do we have so many voices? Is it because you can't think for yourself? And maybe there's way too many voices. Maybe there's way too many people in the locker room that are trying to tell and game plan and scheme. Listen, I don't know what it is. I have no idea. All I know is I think tonight was a complete embarrassment. It was disrespectful to the fans, to the city, and to these players. Okay, if you scanned that entire bench when this happened, there was not a lot of happy football players. There were not a lot of smiles, okay, because they knew exactly what was going on, and they were not happy about it. Those guys worked damn hard to play this game, okay? Say what you want. Those guys, some of those guys have fought through injuries, through rehabs. Not to mention that this is like a COVID year. These guys had to take extra precautions week in and week out. Listen, I interviewed Malik Jackson about 3 weeks back. You check it out. Great interview. Go follow Heat Ratio Sports on iTunes. The video or the podcast is up. I interviewed Malik Jackson one-on-one on Zoom. And if you listen to what Malik Jackson said how hard this season has been. Okay, just for the simple fact of trying to be a normal person but follow the strict guidelines. Things that they're just not used to. A lot of stuff that they have to do that we don't have to do. A lot of different things. Again, I get it. They're handsomely paid. I understand that. Before somebody hits me with, oh, they're paid enough money. I get it. But what I'm saying is, all the intangibles, all the the expenditures that they had to deal with for the entire year, and you end like this, it's a shame. It's an absolute shame. Al says, this is the worst time for reporters not to be allowed in the locker room because everybody would have went straight to Kelsey's locker. You know what? That's another great point, Al. Right now, you don't have that kind of access, right? You don't have that kind of access. And I listen, I'm telling you right now, the first person I'm hitting up tomorrow is Malik Jackson's agent because I want to get Malik again. Because when I talked to Malik, we were talking about his charity work. We were talking about the Carson Wentz situation. And again, they just came off a win against New Orleans. And you could tell how relieved he was to get the win. And I asked him, listen, I'd love to have you back on after the season's over. Well, I'll tell you what, I cannot wait to get him back on. And I want to hear what he has to say about this because, the guy, listen, he was as genuine as they come. And I just want to know, how does it feel? Listen, this is the way we feel. And if we feel like that, the players feel like that. And you know what? Malik Jackson was playing tonight. He was playing well. And here's a guy who come back from a Liz Frank injury. And if you listen, here's a guy that he never went through an injury like that, never had a prolonged injury like that in his entire career. So he busted his ass to get back on the field, and you throw in Nate Sudfeld. I mean, this is all the stuff that has to go through these players' minds. It's not good, man. It's not good. Rich says you go out and play to win games, as Herm Edwards says. Absolutely. Les Bowen, did you tank this game? Did you talk to Carson Wentz about wanting to be traded? Good old Les, man. Did you tank? Doug, not answering that. Yeah, exactly. We know that, man. He ain't gonna answer that. Andy said, "I'll tell you what, Rich. Are you? If Les actually asked that, good for him, man. Good for him because I'm tired. Also, as a lot of these reporters, they have their own agendas and their own narratives that they know that they can only ask certain things because if they don't ask the right questions, they won't be welcomed back, right? So I'm glad that he did do that. Andy says we can't be complacent with Super Bowl 52. We have to be a threat every year, not an embarrassment. Things have to change. Fly, Eagles, fly. Andy, I love it. Comment of the night right there. And that's the thing. I'm tired of hearing we sold our souls for a Super Bowl. No, we didn't. Okay, remember the new norm? Hey, Doug, somebody asked Doug that. Ask Doug, hey, Doug, is this the new norm? You told us, this is the new normal. The new normal blows, Doug. I don't know that this isn't the new normal we expected, okay, because he damn right did say that. I love these quotes, okay? We heard Jeffrey Lurie talk about emotional intelligence or why he hired Doug Peterson. I'll tell you what, if that's emotional intelligence, I need to go back to college and get a different degree because that's not the definition that I understand, okay? I know what emotional intelligence is, but again, this isn't what was displayed, okay? The new norm, this definitely ain't the new norm, okay? And Rich says, great, love it. The gold standard? Hey, Jeff, this the gold standard, right? I mean, come on, man. Unbelievable. Tara says, what's up, Tars? If they really wanted to win this game, all those guys who sit out would have played point blank, period. Listen, I don't necessarily agree. I should say I don't necessarily disagree. I think you do bring up a good point because that was a pretty lengthy, inactive list. Now, do understand that two of those guys came in late, one of them being Jalen Mills, that, were tested positive for COVID or had exposure to COVID, so they had to be held out. So I can't fault them for that. But you do make a good point because there were a lot of guys on that list. But again, look at some of those names, right? We all knew if that was the case, then Zach Ertz doesn't play, right? Think about it. Honestly, if that's the case, Jason Kelce doesn't play. How do you leave Jason Kelce active, right? That's the difference. If Jason Kelce didn't play, okay, then it would be completely different. But that's why I like the point. I get it, but I can't completely be on board with it. Rich says he actually did ask it. I love it. Thank God. It's great. Rich says Lurie brings everyone back. But exactly. How do you bring everybody back? Howie needs to go this roster drafting is dysfunctional. Howie Roseman, definitely needs to go. Howie Roseman needs to go, but unfortunately he's not. Unfortunately, he's back, and here's the problem. I read all the reports, right? And you hear, Doug and Howie are back with big changes. What big changes are going to actually help here? Okay, that's the problem. What big changes? I don't get it. Bruce checking in. What's up, Bruce? Trey Wentz for a draft pick. Trade Hurts, draft picks. Keep Nate Sudfeld in cap hell anyway. And we're a quarterback factory. I love these comments, man. You guys are awesome. I mean, you just things like that. I love reading that. That's another quote. Quarterback factory. So we have gold standard. We have emotional intelligence. We have new norm. We have quarterback factory. I mean, come on. What else do we got? I mean, anybody want some ice cream, vanilla chocolate, sausage or pepperoni? I mean, we have so many comments from this ridiculous organization right now. It's a shame. I can't put a different spin on it. I can't. We knew what this all season was going to be. And again, the 76ers had a historic all season. But again, think about it this way. Would they have had an historic offseason if Daryl Morey wasn't brought in? No. Okay, so what tells you the Philadelphia Phillies? Okay, would they make move? Do you think they haven't really made any moves yet that have been crazy? But do you think that any moves would be made if they don't bring in Dave Dombrowski and they leave Matt Klentak in charge? No. Again, It's the same people are going to make the same decisions, and we're going to go down the same road. And it's a shame. Howie need to be gone. I don't see any changes at all. We might have to endure another losing season for Lurie to get the message to release Howie. That's the thing. I don't know how you're happy if you're Jeff. You know what I mean? Like, if you're Jeffrey Lurie, how can you be happy with this product? And how can you say, I have my trust in Doug to right the ship? Really? I mean, there's so many things that you could point to this year that were just so out of whack. And I understand, that Doug won a Super Bowl and Doug did lead this team to the playoffs. And I get it. I understand. But, I mean, it goes deeper than that. This is going to be a very important offseason. I mean, offense, defense, and a DC, and I hope a new OF. Listen, defense coordinator, offensive coordinator. Yeah, listen, I agree, Al. I mean, it's going to be historic. This is just going to be just like the Sixers offseason was. We knew that they had to do things, and they did some of them. They didn't do all of them. I don't think they're done yet, but at least they did 80% of what we needed. Okay? So, can you change it around that much in football? I will say this. If you look at teams like the Buffalo Bills had a 2-year turnaround. 2018 and 2019, they made significant changes, and look where they are in 2020. Okay, so I honestly think that this can be turned around pretty quickly if you have the right people in the mix. And right now, I don't think you do. Rich says they're switching from Burger King to Popeyes. That's a big change. And Rich knows that. That's a heat ratio thing, man. Burger King to Popeyes. You know what, Rich? I can't even give them Burger King and Popeyes right now. They're going to places that aren't even that well known. I mean, they're going to like Sheetz, because in Northeast we're more like a Wawa, right? They're going to like Arby's. Give them Arby's, maybe. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't even give them Burger King or Popeyes. Tar says, as a fan, I knew we were going to lose this game. Why is everybody surprised, Jigsaw, especially if the Cowboys won today? Listen, it's not about losing the game, Tars, honestly. And again, I didn't think we would win this game. I didn't. I really didn't think we would win this game. But I thought we would at least make it interesting. And when you have the young kid in Jalen Hurts doing what he does, I really thought that would be more of an interesting game. Let's see if, guys like J.J. Arcega-Whiteside could do something. Quez Watkins, John Singleton, Greg Ward, who we have to figure out, do we bring him back, right? There were certain things that I wanted to see, okay? But you were in that game. It was competitive. You could have won that game. For all intents and purposes, that game was yours to win. It was right there. And you decided to just throw in the white flag and completely revert course. So, I think even though as fans, I didn't expect them to win, but what I did expect is Doug to at least come out, like Al said or Rich said, I forget who it was earlier, or maybe even Andy, I'm sorry if I'm getting it wrong, but whoever said that, he didn't come out and say before the game that he wasn't trying to play in the win, that, he was basically going to look at this as an experiment. He didn't say that at all. Okay, he didn't say that at all, which is, again, I think that's why a lot of people are upset. Bruce says we need Hinkie to run the Eagles for the next 2 years. He will get us draft picks. Bring in Sam Hinkie for the Eagles. I'm in. Let's go, Bruce. Let's get as many draft picks. But here's the thing. I don't want Hinkie drafting them. Right? And I don't want Howie drafting them. So we need somebody in here that's going to draft somebody of some kind of promise. Rich says, that's the difference between an experienced GM Morey and Howie had a plan and executed. Howie lost. Can't even cut a kicker without a cap hit. Jake Elliott, another stiff. $8.5 million cap hit, man. Come on. I mean, it's ridiculous. You watch. Listen, you signed Jake Elliott like he was the best kicker in the NFL, like he was Brandon McManus, or he was Tucker from the Ravens. I mean, this isn't who he is, and that's the problem. That you signed him to this extraordinary contract, and you thought you were putting a wool over everybody's eyes. Well, guess what? Nobody signs kickers to that kind of deal. Nobody. Only the ones that are Hall of Fame type kickers, and he is definitely not Hall of Fame worthy in my book. Andy says we would have won if Nate the towel wasn't put in. Exactly. I mean, come on, man. Nate two gloves. And again, what's with the two gloves too? Number one, there's only one guy I know wears two gloves, and at least he is productive, and that is my man Teddy Bridgewater out of Carolina. Teddy Two Gloves. He wears them. I don't know why Nate Sudfeld wears two, because obviously the two gloves didn't work. As you see the tweet earlier, somebody needed to get him a new pair of gloves. Get him like to stick them. I forget that that kid. Remember in the Little Giants movie, he would throw the stick 'em on a shirt. And, he could stick 'em on the gloves. It's the only way he could catch the ball. That's what he needed. Bruce, dude, Eagles take a while. Oh, man, here's the sad part, Bruce. Like, you want to say you want them to take the wide receiver, okay? But the problem is we have zero luck in drafting wide receivers, and I'm afraid that if we draft a wide receiver, the problem is we're going to draft the wrong one again, and we're going to be 3 years in the hole again. So unless they bring somebody in here, I don't know. And obviously, corner, I guess corner isn't that well either. I mean, we've tried to draft corners over the past 3 years, and they've all sucked too. So, I don't know. I think in that position at 6, I wouldn't be surprised to see them make a deal. I think the Eagles think that they can outsmart anybody. They'll do something like move back, or I don't even know, but they're going to do something weird. I know we get the 6th pick, but we still have to Howie doing that. Exactly, that's the problem. Jim checking in. We still need quarterback. Hurts. We still need a quarterback. Hurts not impressive. Wentz is a train wreck. Jim, I don't know if we still need a quarterback. I honestly, I'm sold on. David's not checking in because he's going to kill me for this, but I said I was sold on Hurts. And what I mean by that statement is I'm sold on what his abilities could be if we can get him right. He's raw. Everybody forgets. And again, I'm not saying he's Kyler Murray, but everybody forgets when Kyler Murray first played his rookie year, he didn't look that good either. Okay, he didn't look good. His throws weren't there, right? Look at Tua right now in Miami, right? It's a work in progress. But I have more promise for him here than I have Wentz. Now, I think Wentz's tools with his arm are much better. But the problem is the situation right now, it's never going to work here now, because I really believe that Chris Mortensen and Adam Schefter were completely right when they say that the relationship is fractured. Because what else can you say, man? You know what's going on, and it's not good. Tar says, if we won tonight, what did we prove? We should have been winning when it really counted. Tonight's game meant nothing, just my opinion. And again, Tars, I agree. Like, here's one thing. Tars, I don't think me and you have talked as much, on here, which I love this. Just understand that I like your points. I'll never say your point is wrong. I love the opinion. I love the debate, because I think we're both kind of right in a sense, because I agree. What did it prove? If we won tonight, it proved nothing. But what it would do is you had a lot of young kids out there. And we could say whatever we want. We cannot get rid of an entire roster. Okay? So those kids like Quez Watkins and Jonathan Singleton and even Greg Ward, okay, and guys along the offensive line, whether we like them or not, we're going to have some of those guys to be backups. Well, if we can fix this offensive line, so it would at least give them confidence, keep them in a competitive game, keep them in the right mindset going into the offseason and saying, you know what, look how well we played. We won a game. We knocked somebody out of the playoff hunt. We gave somebody else an opportunity. That's what I think was at stake here. But again, I agree. We should have been winning when it really counted. Yes, 100%. We lost way too many games this year. We wait way too long to make changes, and we didn't make enough adjustments. So you're right, 100%. I completely agree with you. I just think tonight it would have proved more to the younger guys that are going to be here next year, and it would have gave them a little more confidence going into hopefully a more realistic offseason where we don't have so many COVID restrictions in play, and we'll find that out as well later on. Gary says, I like Peterson, but he should be fired for taking Hurts out when he did. What possible reason, unless the front office was in on it too? Yeah, Gary, good question. I mean, we're all trying to figure that out. And I agree. I don't think he should be brought back. I don't. I'm sorry. Listen, obviously, this just shows that Carson Wentz is not going to be back. And I keep saying that. Carson Wentz is not coming back. Because right now you have 3 guys, right? We knew who they were. You have Howie Roseman, Doug Peterson, Carson Wentz. And one of those guys has to go. And if you're going to sit here and tell me that Howie Roseman and Doug Peterson are already back, then Carson Wentz is going to go, man. So that's what's ridiculous. So, if that's the case, okay, that means these two guys are both back. And I'm not saying Carson can't. Listen, I do think Carson has to. Listen, Carson or Jalen, but it's not going to be Jalen. I'm telling you, it's not going to be Jalen Hurts. He's not going anywhere. He's not. And I'd be absolutely shocked if those two guys are back, because I just don't think they can stay on the same field together, and stay in the same locker room. I don't think it's going to happen. It's just not. Wentz is too fragile upstairs. I'm sorry. Tar says Gary, front office was definitely involved. We all know that. They've been involved all year. 100%. Doug Pierce is a puppet. Okay? There's a reason why. I'm going to say this in closing, because this has been great. You guys have been tremendous. I love the comments. We're kicking ass tonight. Everybody's getting some good stuff in here. This is what I will say. At the end of the day, I've said this before. Jeff Lurie, when Andy Reid was let go, Jeff decided, we had the yes guy. We had the corporate guy in Andy Reid. So Jeffrey Lurie took a chance. He went outside of his comfort zone, and he took Oregon Chip Kelly. Okay? That's what he did. He took Chip. He gave him all the power. He said, I'm going to go with the new trend. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to step outside my comfort level, and I'm going to take Chip because he's the new shiny toy. Okay, everybody's doing it, and I know he's a little fiery and he's a little different, but you know what? I'm going to allow myself to change, and I'm going to do it. And guess what? It didn't work. It didn't work here. So what happened? Jeff ate his words. So we knew from that point on, there was no way that Jeffrey Lurie was going to bring in another guy that was fiery and it was going to go up against management. What we did know is that Jeffrey Lurie was going to go back to the safe Jeff, and he was going to go back to the safe zone, and he was going to bring back the yes man. That's what we knew. And that yes man was Doug Peterson. And Doug Peterson never had an interview lined up. Doug Peterson never had a knock at the door. Nobody called Doug Peterson and inquired about his services. Absolutely nobody. He was the safe guy for this team that Jeff and Howie could control. That's 100% spot on. I will go against anybody with that statement, and that's exactly what you're seeing right now. That's how it happened. I'm telling you right now, that's how it happened, and we're all witnessing it right now. Unfortunately, we're all witnessing it right now, and it sucks. Absolutely sucks. Rich says, Press will fix her. Press Taylor, another stiff on his team. Gary says, Hurts hasn't shown me he's any franchise quarterback. He and Tua were good at college players, but that's not the NFL. You're right, Gary. He hasn't shown enough. Small sample size, right? Small sample size. But what we have to say is he makes up for more deficiencies of the team than Carson does, right? A perfect example. Go back, and I thought it was again, I think Chris Collinsworth was on point tonight, 100%. And I'll keep it like this. When they brought in Nate Sudfeld, the first thing, after the first play, I would say after the first 3 and out, right? After Nate, did what Nate always does, throws a pick and looks like ass, okay? But what happened was Chris said, first thing, he alluded to the fact that now the pass rush is getting involved. Why? Because you have a guy that's immobile, a guy that can't move, a statue, a guy that can just stand and throw. Completely different game plan than when you're going up against a guy like Jalen Hurts. So again, that's why, Gary, that I say he showed me that he at least gives you the ability to build around. Okay, I'm not saying Carson is a franchise quarterback either, but we're talking about the Eagles right now, and I think that ship has sailed. That's all I'm saying. I think the ship has sailed. Al says it's hard to ever say you know what Doug is thinking, but you do think not trusting Wentz and taking Hurts out shows he's all in on getting Wentz together in the offseason and rolling with him next season. That's interesting. Al, I never even thought about that, to be honest with you. That's actually a good point. I mean, that's a good theory. It is. I mean, it makes sense. It maybe, he's trying to, amend that fractured relationship. by saying, listen, Carson, just so you know, this whole thing's been an experiment, but at the end of the day, you're the guy that we want. It's a good point. I honestly, Al, I don't know if it'll happen, but again, I think it's a good point. It is. I never even thought about that. Rich says Carson will be leaking that he will restructure his contract. Yeah, you know what? Carson's not restructuring that contract. Yeah, you're right. I mean, listen, man. He thinks he deserved it, and listen, at the time he probably did, and he probably still does, because he's probably going to go somewhere and be successful. He is. I mean, just again, we need to see it. We can keep Doug. Tar says we can keep Doug. Just get us a great play caller and an offensive coordinator and a defensive coordinator that can make adjustments. Great show, Jigsaw. Tars, thanks again for checking in, man. I appreciate it. Listen, I usually wait, but I had to go tonight, Tars. I had to go. And again, I appreciate the comments. Keep giving them to me, because it makes me think down a different lane. And I say that all the time. I like to take everybody's opinion and kind of formulate my own. And I think it's great. That's why we're all here. And again, we all can enlighten one another. Let's try to make this a family here. It's a family affair, man. Heat Ratio Sports is a family affair. Rich says Doug won't give up the play calling. You're right. It's an art. You're Rich. You're right. He owns it. Even though it sucks, he owns it. Gary says Kelly was the worst assistant in Eagles history. He dismantled the team single-handedly, almost as if he had been paid to do it. Gary, I agree. I mean, but again, I will tell you this: be very careful with that, okay? Because the last two picks, okay, that we've really had money on, okay, that been money picks, were picked by Chip Kelly, whether or not they were given on a silver platter to him or where they were. But again, Lane Johnson and Zach Ertz were Chip Kelly picks. So again, Howie Roseman has never picked guys like Lane Johnson and Zach Ertz. So, you have to give Chip Kelly at least that credit. Now, again, the LaShawn McCoy, the Deshaun Jackson, I get all that. We can get into that argument another day. And I don't mean arguing with you, Gary. I just mean arguing with everybody, because again, I understand why he did it. It probably wasn't a smart move talent-wise, but again, he was trying to create a culture, and he thought that LaShawn, we all know LaShawn's not a great dude, right? So we know Deshaun's not a great guy either. So, the D and L connection needed to go somewhere else for him to implement his culture inside the locker room. But again, give me somebody that drafted better than Lane Johnson and Zach Ertz. Chip Kelly didn't do that bad with those two picks. Agree with Sesame Hurts. Listen, Gary, that's the way I see it. Honestly, I do. And you're right. Wentz needs to go somewhere else. Back with Reich again. Listen, 57 minutes. I need to get some sleep. It's 12:30. But listen, this has been great. I had to do this. This was my therapy tonight. But again, everybody checking in, give us a follow at Heat Ratio Sports. We have so many awesome things planned this year in 2021. We do a lot of fantasy work. If you go on the YouTube page right now, Heat Ratio Sports, look us up, subscribe to us. We have numerous videos posted. Our live shows are on there. Our fantasy shows are on there. Okay, there's a lot of stuff on there, and again, we have a lot coming up. We have NHL talk. NHL starts January 13th. My man Dan Green has his Flyers and Ice show. We'll be starting this week. Me, Al Griffin, and Andre Johnson. Again, NBA guys, we will have a bi-weekly or weekly, I haven't figured it out yet, NBA show where we break down the entire NBA and the Philadelphia 76ers. We will have fantasy basketball shows, fantasy baseball shows, fantasy hockey shows, and still football shows, because we're still going to talk about the playoffs and we're still going to talk DFS. Tons and tons of talk on Heat Ratio Sports. My goal is to give you guys 7-day-a-week programming. 7-day a week. It's going to be only an hour or two every night or day, but at least it will give you guys something different, because I think we all need it, man. Or I'll read Taurus. check us out. Me, Andre, and Al did a preview show a couple weeks ago of the Philadelphia 76ers. Al, and Andre are very well in the know when it comes to the NBA. I'm very passionate about some of my takes, and those guys kind of try to steer me in the right direction, which is great. We have a lot to offer, so come join us. Be a part in the comments. Let us know what you want to talk about because we're there for that too. So again, Gary, thank you. Rich, thank you. Tars, thank you. Everybody else checking in from earlier, I really greatly appreciate it. Again, there's my boy Al checking in. Yes, sir. Sixers 5-1, carry with 59 tonight. For 59 tonight, I love it. Steph Curry was on fire tonight, bro. Steph Curry was on fire. Remember, Al? Who did I say was my third-ranked player in the NBA this year? It was Steph Curry. That was my big three, and everybody laughed at me. Remember, the man was an MVP for a reason. For a reason, okay? Again, Steph Curry, a lot of people were sleeping on Steph this year. Be careful. Steph's coming back with a vengeance. The man's only 31 years old. And remember, he didn't tear an ACL. He broke a bone in his hand. He's okay. He's going to light stuff up this year, man. So, as always, get at me in the threads, at Cutillo23, at Heat Ratio Sports. Signing off, as always, Jigsaw's Judgment. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll talk to you probably tomorrow.